Guzu got interviewed by Yagek, so we're gonna listen to that now.
I don't know if I want to like do those.
There have been 2 times I've been watching you and I thought, oh no, we're gonna lose him. As in, like, we're gonna lose you. We're gonna lose you playing a game.
My lovely fiance has told me that I have been talking in my sleep.
Okay.
About dying and stuff like that on my hardcore.
No.
We're gonna lose
Hello
you.
everyone and welcome
Guzu
to the
would
official
never quit
Old School
RuneScape? What is he saying?
podcast, where we get to chat shit with JMods and creators alike.
This is our chance to get to know the person behind the crown, hear their stories, hear their experiences.
Unless they're a creator, of course, and then I guess it's technically behind the screen that we're figuring out who the person is. Anyway, I'm your host, Mod Aiza. I'm joined by another host.
Mod Sween.
And today we have a wonderful guest that we're really excited to be talking to. It is the one and only Guzu. Hello, Guzu. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me. It's was a early flight, but we are here, and that's good. I'm excited to talk some RuneScape.
Really appreciate you taking the time out, and I know that it was such an early start for you.
We're good.
Fueled on energy drinks and now
No, we're good.
hydration.
We're cruising. It's nice.
Awesome. Well, I guess for those of you, those watching that may not be familiar with who you are and what you do, how about just a quick intro?
Well, I mean, I'm originally a World of Warcraft content creator. I stream on Twitch and I make videos on YouTube. And my main focus was classic WoW and that aspect of WoW that I really enjoyed playing and I made a lot of content for. And recently I pivoted more towards old school RuneScape and I'm playing it for the first time.
And I guess I have to ask, what was it that made you make the move to old school RuneScape?
Well, I mean, I like the classic MMOs. I like the old school ones. No pun intended, but I always played classic WoW. I played it for way too many years, decades. And there's been a lot of different versions of it and a lot of years of streaming it and making content for it. And I ran a little bit of a burnout. I got a little bit tired of it to a certain degree. And I had a lot of people ask me or tell me like, you should try out RuneScape, you should do it. And I never played it because back when I was in school, it was always like, oh, the people that play RuneScape, they're a bit weird. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna like do those.
Relax, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Then I learned that I'm kind of weird as well, you know, and I kind of like it. So yeah, I played this game for 2 months now, and I've been very welcomed by the community, at least the people in my stream and everywhere, and it's been really cool. It's been awesome delving into a new MMO for the first time.
Sweet. So I want to go back a little bit further. You mentioned you like old school MMOs.
Yeah.
Did you play anything before World of Warcraft? Are you like kind of Ultima Online head, EverQuest? Did we go quite that far back?
I mean, so I was very young, obviously.
Yeah, sure.
But my first MMO was World of Warcraft. I played the classic version in 2005 when it came out in Denmark, where I'm from, and I played that a whole ton. I have a little bit of a period where I didn't play WoW, and I did a lot of random free-to-play MMOs. Okay, you know, I did all those like what's it called, Aeon, I think.
Oh yeah,
Perfect World, AC,
Terra, kind of a similar time.
All those. So I played all those, but I have never interacted or played any RuneScape actually.
That's really interesting because I was.
He's not an OG, guys. Guzu's not an OG like me. Like I played classic, okay, for a few months when I was a kid, so like I basically know the whole game. So like I guess Guzu just didn't have that up his sleeve like I did, you know, because I used to duel people back in Lumbridge for their rune legs, and I used to look up how to do quests, guides online. It was just pictures, and so that's the lore.
Complete MMO hopper at the time when
I was level 80 cooking.
Burnout, I would do the same, and I remember
I could fish sharks.
Things like Silk Road Online and Night Online. These were the craziest free-to-play MMOs ever, but RuneScape was definitely something that was always there whenever I searched, so I kind of like had to play it. I guess, how did you avoid it for so long?
Big fish,
I'm
too much.
not sure, because I feel like at least back how it was for me in middle school, like my friend group, we were all like WoW people, right? So we all talked about WoW, we played WoW, everything was WoW, and then there wasn't really many of my friends that really did RuneScape. I was aware of it. There were some people in my middle school that played it, but I didn't really talk to them, so it just never crossed my mind. So it just completely went under the radar for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone's got very different experiences. Like at my school, you were the cool kids if you played RuneScape, but you were not cool if you played World of Warcraft. So I had to pick and choose who I would speak to about games at different times.
That is kind of true. Like your friend group does kind of determine what's cool. Like when I was middle school, it was all skateboarding. Like skateboarding was everything, and like we would play sports games. But when I got to high school, when I was like on the football team and stuff, I didn't want anyone to know that I played WoW. I kept that shit hid. But in middle school, I would go after school to like the video game place, and I would play. We would play Age of Empires. We would play RuneScape. So in middle school, I played a little bit of RuneScape, but it always determined like what everyone else was doing. Like I wanted to play the games everyone else was.
Because I was playing
It's
both.
constantly code
Yeah.
switching.
Yeah.
It was similar at my school. For a while, RuneScape was cool, and then it became uncool. And then that's when everyone was like, no, I don't play anymore. But
Really?
years later, we now realize we're all playing in secret.
Yeah.
I think it's like that's how it was back in the day, man. When you played MMOs, you were like, you kind of like had to hide it a bit because it
Yeah.
wasn't really that, you're cool.
You
if
couldn't
played
tell
Call
anybody.
of Duty and FIFA and all those like cool stuff, right? But MMOs was a bit of a
It was like
taboo, I guess,
such
to
a
talk
thing.
about
Like
a lot.
you
but
couldn't tell people that you
I
played
guess it was always
MMOs.
WoW or RuneScape for a lot of
people
people,
would make fun
and
of
I
you.
just ended up in the kind of WoW sphere, I suppose, with all the stuff.
Very common story. So I'm not
Yeah.
surprised at all.
But then,
interested-
but then your best friends would be the people that played. So it's like, how do you find people that play WoW without telling people that you play WoW? And then if you ever did figure out that somebody was playing it, then like you guys would immediately be friends.
No, in terms of surprises, what would you say is the biggest surprise
Jay
that
Beezy.
you've kind of experienced moving from WoW into old school? And I'm keen to hear both a good and a bad example.
Okay, I mean, that's a hard one. I mean, the biggest thing that I'm quite surprised about is the depth of the skill expression in the game. Like my view on the game or how I saw it, obviously I knew nothing about it. So I was like, oh, well, it's like some point and click game where you get scammed, right? And then,
You're not wrong.
that was it, right? It's like, okay, so you get scammed.
Partially
and it's
true.
like a point and click game, and there's a lot of
Sensei
farming.
thing with
That's
3
what
months,
I-
baby.
like a lot of grinding, right? So it's a grindy game, and that's it. And there is a lot of those things in the game, obviously, but there's a lot more to it, I think, than that. And I was very surprised that there's actually a lot of skill expression in how you can do PVM or PKing or the gear swapping and all those different things that you work around with the ticks. And I was also quite surprised that it feels a bit like a rhythm game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very weird to me, but I've definitely grown to like it a lot. It's something like either you hate it or love it, I think.
Okay. And anything bad? A bad surprise? What haven't you liked?
A bad surprise. I mean, I will say, I mean, my overall experience has actually been quite positive. I went into the game with a quite open-minded approach, and I just tried to like play it for what it is. Obviously, I'm playing an Iron Man, hardcore Iron Man, so my experience may be a little bit different if you play a
Damn,
main.
he was still
Yeah, I don't
hardcore in
know.
this video, huh?
Something I'm quite surprised about is, I guess it's a bad thing and a good thing, is that you can really just play this game completely solo. That's so weird to me. Like, because it's an MMO, right? But I love it personally. But it's also
amazing.
something that I was a bit surprised about because you can just make your own journey in a way. But I don't know if I have anything specifically like super negative. Maybe agility. I don't like agility.
I'm with you on that one.
That sucks. Like, I hate it. I do not like that.
Although I hear that it changes, once you get to
Same.
Hallowed Sepulchre.
Yeah, that's what people say. But I mean, we'll see when we get there.
I can't deal with the rooftops. People say that they're like AFK, but I'm sorry, but if you have to click every few seconds, it's not AFK. So
No.
I have to.
Colossal Worm is probably the closest to AFK, but I think until you hit RD rooftops, it's probably going to be the best bet. Other than that, get ready and be interactive, and you're going to play the Sepulchre, and you'll get XP, and you might have fun.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, really good experience. But I do not vibe with agility, I will say. I don't like that very much. It's a very generic answer, I feel like, but I've had a good experience playing the game.
Well, I'm looking forward to, as a viewer, when you reach the point
I
where you
cannot do
do
agility,
co-op
guys.
content like raids. I mean, you can still solo chambers, and many people do, but your first experiences will probably be group. Tombs of a Mascot, you'll probably solo. Many people do. Theatre of Blood, well, that's when you're going to be working with other people, and I think you're going to. That's some of our favorite content in the game. I think you'll have a good time. But anyway, won't spoil that. You'll play unguided, so we'll keep it that way.
As much as I can, at least.
Yeah,
I'm not
no.
fully unguided. I have my chat that kind of pivot me towards stuff that's interesting, and I try to do most of the things I can without being aware of what's going on. But I do look up some things here and there and stuff like that. But I try to not look up anything, and that's been a very interesting experience.
Dude, it's been
some of the
great.
quests have been pretty crazy.
I'm loving the quest guides you make. The paint guides are become a staple.
They're really great. Yeah.
How are you finding the hardcore experience in terms of do you feel like it's holding? What I hear from people who play hardcore, particularly for the first playthrough, they start holding back because they're
It's
less likely to
ass.
take risks. Or
Don't
they might
play
not engage
hardcore
in
your
the
first
content they
time.
might otherwise want to. Are you feeling that way at all?
Don't do it.
Definitely. I think I like hardcore because it's essentially like you play the game and then you have fun with it and you have this cool status that you can flex, right? And we all in MMOs, it's cool to flex, right?
It
That's
sure
why a lot of
is.
people like. But at first I wasn't really too worried about it. I was kind of like joking a lot about it, but like the more and more I played, the more I realized like, damn, I actually kind of do care about the status. And whenever I delve into new content, I'm like, damn, I really actually don't want to die. So, and it is definitely inhibiting me a little bit in terms of wanting to do certain things and wanting to like push myself in more stuff. So I am trying to keep the status for as long as possible. But I also, as a new player, I realized that it's kind of silly in a way because I want to be able to experience trial and error and learn things and stuff like that. So I'm cruising with it as long as I can. And whenever I lose my status, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep going. But it is definitely making me a bit cautious.
Sure.
More than I would like, maybe.
Because a lot of established hardcores also have a main, and when we release new content, they'll get good at they'll perfect it on their main account, and then
you
jump
play
into
hardcore. That's the way to do it.
But
Yeah.
obviously you don't have
For
that,
sure.
that luxury. It's just going to be a case of, oh, this is new.
Yeah.
Give it a go.
Yeah. I was very like concerned, like, man, I think it's only gonna be interesting if I'm hardcore, because that's like, oh, you know, you've never died.
Such a
But I
wow
think
thing.
after I did the whole fire cape stuff and all the fight caves, I realized like, damn, it's really fun to learn and trial and error and figure out mechanics and stuff and learn as you go. And that made me realize a bit that you don't have to be hardcore. It's a cool status to have, but you shouldn't live.
In World of Warcraft, you pretty much have to be hardcore to have viewers. Like nobody watches classic WoW regular anymore. And we kind of came over not knowing that culture didn't really exist here. It's more of an Iron Man culture over here for streamers. And then for veteran players, it's you could be like a main if you're a PvPer, I think. As a streamer, at least the big streamers like maybe Odablock and Skill Specs, all these guys are mains, like the PvPers. But I know it's more of an Iron Man culture, and like people only care about hardcore really on guys like No Monkey, like the best of the best.
Let it dictate how you play.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's a really good outlook that you have on that as well, especially because, you know, I think there is a point that will come, and hopefully not. I'm not saying that it will 100% happen, but I think that it is quite common or quite expected, that you will eventually perish at some point, right? I mean, that's the whole point of hardcore, is that the longer you don't perish, the more flex that you have. But going in mostly unguided, I do think it's inevitable, but I'm happy to hear that your outlook on it is, I'm just going to carry on, because it would be a massive shame for you to feel like it's you know, part of that identity of your character and its progression now.
Yeah, I mean, how I look at it is like, you could, for me, I'm playing this game for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And I can only do that once. So I don't want to really like tarnish my experience and like not do some content because, oh, what if I lose my status? You know, because yeah, it's cool having the status and it's awesome and stuff
There you
like
go.
that, but it's
I'm
playing this game for the first time. So I would rather just try to enjoy the content
That's
for what
exactly
it is.
what
right?
I was thinking.
So in a way, I'm looking forward to losing the status because I'm
Same.
like, damn, finally.
You can go into the wilderness and do those clues now.
Why do you think I
but
died on the tree spirit day 3? I realized I was missing out on a wilderness. I was missing out on so much content. And I was like, dude, I don't want this status. Why did I do this to myself? And so that's why I had to just go ahead and let the tree spirit win at the end of the day. You guys really think that I would die to the tree spirit? Like, really? Like, let's think about it here for a second. Okay? Let's actually just think. Obviously, that's what I was doing.
I'm going to go as far as I can, and whenever it happens, right?
I donated money, didn't I, to charity for you to lose your hardcore
You
status.
sure did. Yeah. That was
damn.
honestly the most relieving moment of my character's kind of like journey, because I was the worst example of a hardcore. I avoided pretty much all hard content, apart from random things that I decided to do which were stupid. Like I went into the wilderness live on stream to do a clue, and it was like at the Anakal area, you know, like deep wilderness. I then also went into Galvek. I practiced once on my main, died on my main, and was like, you know what, I can't be bothered to practice again, so I'm just going to go in. And I had like not good stats for it, but you know, managed it. And then after that, I was like, oh, now I'm terrified. My heart was racing so hard.
Okay.
I thought I was going to die in real life as well. So I was like, right, I'm not going to do anything anymore. So I stuck at Barrows for 1,000 chests. And
What?
quite frankly, I had a miserable experience. My grind to 70 prayer, miserable as a result of that. Thankfully, there's a lot of different changes in now in terms of content for you to get, you know, stats up and stuff so you can avoid it. But the day that Mod Sween donated that £100 to charity and asked me to die in Bounty Hunter was a blessing in disguise, because literally 2 minutes after that happened, we went straight into raids.
Yep.
And I think we did like 3 weeks of straight raid sessions.
Unlocked fun.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So,
You finally play the game.
Dude, that's what I was saying. like Guzu didn't play with us the entire time because he was hardcore for most of it. And now LSJ is doing the same damn thing. And I'm like, bro, come to the raid. And he's like, oh, I can't. I gotta do Untrimmed Slayer and I'm hardcore. So I'm gonna cuck myself and isolate myself on this island over here and just watch y'all have fun and y'all go ahead. And I'll be over here. You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? Nobody cares about your hardcore first-time player. Everyone knows you're going to die eventually. They're just waiting for it to happen. You're going to get one clip out of it and waste, like, what? 4 months of doing nothing? Like, brother, just die and come play with us.
Yeah, exactly. So about content creation, right? I'm interested to know if there's anything that you've had to perhaps unlearn in regards to how you'd approach, streaming or video making for World of Warcraft when it came into old school, or has it been able to been almost like a similar, science behind it, a formula that you've been able to apply?
Well, I think for me, like I played a lot of Classic WoW, which is a very slow game as well. For me, it's like I enjoyed the leveling experience, going through the whole journey, and then like I would like to level. I farm my pre-biz gear for my raid, and I do my raid, and then after I do that, I kind of fizzle out a bit and I make a new character and I do it like such, right? So for me, it was kind of, it felt like natural in a way to go into RuneScape because it's very similar. I have a main character. I can delve upon these like quest lines and stories and I can level up and I can do little mini journeys. How I try to approach it is that I go live. I'm like, okay, today I want to work on this quest chain. I want to try to make some progress for my skilling so that I can go into Mauritania and I can work on my pirates, storyline. Mm-hmm. And I try to focus on one little bite of content at a time, and then make a little journey out of that with my character, and then take it one thing at a time. Because I think the biggest thing with RuneScape is you can be very overwhelmed because it's okay to do this thing. I gotta do that thing, and that thing requires this thing, and then you end up doing a whole other thing, right? I think that's the beauty of the game. It's also confusing, so as a new player and as a content creator, I try to just focus on one thing at a time. Even though that might not be the most efficient, I think it's more fun.
Cool. I like that.
True.
I think
It keeps you playing longer. So it probably is more efficient in the long run, because otherwise you'd burn out and stop playing. You probably won't accomplish as much as you would otherwise.
Yeah, if you look at...
I'd like to ask,
if you look at everything you have to do in RuneScape, you will just turn off your computer. I swear, you just turn the game off. It is overwhelming to a new player. I know, I just did it. And there's way more content in the game than when y'all started playing. It is crazy how overwhelming it is. You gotta just lock in and just do one thing at a time and not like try to overwork yourself. It's pretty daunting.
How did you get into content creation more generally?
That's a while ago now. I started streaming back in 2018, I believe.
Okay.
7 years ago as of right now. And I was a bit of a bad boy. I played private servers in World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Yeah, and I started my... I did. I played on a server called Chronos 2.
Oh, I know.
And it was a private server, obviously, back then. And I just loved Classic WoW. And I figured, you know what? I'm just going to stream my leveling. Maybe someone will hang out with me while I do it. And it was like a hobby. I just came home from work at 4 p.m. and I would just stream in the evening and then have fun with it. And eventually... It was before Classic was announced.
Bad boy.
And then eventually Classic got announced and I was like, what? That's crazy. So I stopped streaming private servers because obviously you can't do that. Mm-hmm. And I went in on World of Warcraft and eventually I got lucky enough to get into the beta for WoW Classic. And it just kind of slowly became bigger and bigger. And that's how it started. But it was pretty much just my love for Classic WoW. I loved it. I streamed, I had fun with it. I didn't make videos back then. I just liked hanging out with my community that I slowly was building. And it's just a love for MMOs and the old school games.
When I played Arc Raiders, I don't think I'm playing that game,
fan. A case of really steady, gradual growth over time.
A bit of a mix of both. I think I've always, like, since I started streaming, for my first 3 years, I didn't have a single day off. For 3 years, 3 years. I maybe had a few days where I was sick and stuff like that. But I would stream every day, like 5-6 hours, whatever.
Holy.
But as I said, I got lucky enough to get into the Classic beta.
Yeah.
And that was a big growth spurt because there was very few people that got in. So I was one of the few Classic streamers that could stream the beta for that game. And that was awesome. I did some tournaments and that was really sick. And then eventually Classic launched. That was really cool. That was awesome. And my channel did okay. But my biggest breakout for me was Hardcore WoW when I started doing Hardcore Classic.
I know Guzu was one of the first ones to play.
I had one life on my character, so I would play normal WoW, and I would have 1 life. And if I died, the character's gone, deleted. And there was like a self-made challenge, somewhat similar to like a lot of the RuneScape content creators that does different extreme challenges. It's nothing that's in the game, but it's something that you put upon yourself. So that was a big breakout for me, hardcore for sure.
This was before official hardcore
Yes.
was released through the add-on that was made.
We were using an add-on that was made. There was a guy called Kargas, who was a WoW
Blood
content
Sail
creator
Buccaneers.
who made an add-on with a bunch
Shout
of
out
other people, and
Kargas.
it got really popular, and that was a big breaking point for me because I liked the journey of the game and I liked the stress of hardcore as well. So that was like a mixture of me that was perfect.
Have you been inclined to? Have you seen any challenges that the RuneScape creators are playing themselves? You're thinking, I want to do that too.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah, I mean, I watch Settle, but I don't really ever have a thought like, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I'll try that too. No, I think this guy's a masochist and, let him cook, but just cook in the other room. I don't want to be a part of it,
They're a bit crazy, okay? I'm gonna lie. These RuneScape content creators are insane, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Oh, sure.
They are insanely amazing. Like we have Rendy doing the most crazy hardcore challenges with like 3 combat level Jad and all those perilous moons, and he's doing. We have Swamp Lytics from Settled doing the one chunk, the nightmare mode, all that stuff. We have. I mean, I can keep naming them, right?
Yeah.
There's so much cool stuff, and I don't want to do any of it because it's insane.
Same.
But I love that people can come up with their own challenges because it's a sandbox.
Yeah.
And you make your own journey. And sometimes when we talk about it with my stream, people are like, man, why would you do that? That's not fun. Or that's
No.
not, that's silly. And then, yeah, it's a silly thing, but
That's
it's
the
fun
meta that
making a
we're in.
challenge for yourself. And it's fun doing something to limit yourself in a way and to try to come up with cool ideas and stuff. I think for me, I like the hardcore stuff and I like Iron Man because I like the feeling of being self-sufficient. I think that's cool.
It's achievement, isn't it? Setting your own goals. And like these guys doing the really crazy stuff. They're setting a goal and they're trying to work out how to accomplish it. And that's the fun aspect. You can get lost in the weeds of efficiency. You can get lost in the weeds of what's optimal. Or you can just go, I'm going to have fun and make some really cool content.
Obviously, it's
Guys, the way that MMOs are going and content creation in general is very simple. Content equals getting rid of content. And if you think about it, it's very simple. Like Settled's whole channel is just him not playing the content and not playing as much content as possible that the game has to offer. And so first was like hardcore, and then it was like iron, and then it was UIM, and then it was like hardcore UIM, and then it's nightmare mode, and then it's Swampletics, and then it's Tile Man, and it's One Chunk Man, and then it's Rendy playing a level 3, right? So it's like not playing the content equals content.
It's a big of a content thing, but I think also just for normal players, it's like efficiency very often kills the joy of gaming because you always get caught up in, I could do this better. I should.
Unless you're Joker, he loves
I could
that.
Just farm this first, and it would be faster. It's very easy to be caught up in the web of efficiency.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it earlier, but sometimes the most efficient way to play is just by playing the way you want to, because you'll play for longer.
Yep.
Because you won't get burnt out. And I am so guilty of it. I spoke about this in a previous podcast as well, but like I will go through phases of just being, trying to be the most efficient in games that I play. I'll research what like the best build is. I remember I jumped into like Elden Ring Night Rain. I was like, okay, what is the best relic setup? And I was like grinding through to buy random relics to get it before I even started playing the character properly. I'm like, why am I doing this? So I stopped doing it and I jumped in and just had fun. And it was like, actually, the game's way more enjoyable now. But yeah, I still have.
Yeah, we do tend to
especially when it comes to
min-max.
That's
We did this in WoW a lot too, guys. Basically, we just min-max the fun out of the game. Everyone's playing meta classes. Everyone's running meta builds. There's no like individuality, like no expressing yourself through your character in the game. You're just following, some script and trying to do the most damage possible that, a simulator figured out how to do. And it feels lifeless. And that's kind of like how retail got.
my crux for efficiency. I'm not good enough to figure out how to play that myself.
It's just one of those games that looks overwhelming to me. I don't play it. I've
Yeah.
tried playing PoE 1 once and didn't know what to do. And I see you and I see Goblin and I see other people play. And I watched your stream recently, the one we did like Annie and stuff. And I was just lost.
Yeah, it's one of those games. Like, imagine you came into old school today after 12 years of development. There's 12 years of features that have been put into there that you need to understand.
So OSRS is not like that. So listen, the reason it's not like that is because there's no builds. There's no builds in OSRS. There's no classes. You don't have talent points. Everyone's just the same. Like we're all the same. Like there is no build to follow. I mean, there's guides on how to do things efficiently, but if you don't enjoy Barracuda trials, you don't have to do them. I mean, it's just you can play how you want to and just enjoy being less efficient. Most people enjoy playing this game AFK, which is like a crazy thing, but it's completely opposite of like the stereotypical MMO like min-maxing. And that's what's beautiful about RuneScape is like you don't have all this meta build, do this, everyone's playing this is the most damage build kind of thing. And it's nice having a classless, talentless game.
I just spent 1,500 hours to try and figure out it, and I still don't know it. So yeah. You mentioned, about your chat, viewership, and obviously the fact that you're going in partially unguided. Now, we've all pretty much frequented your stream quite a while.
Yeah.
I see what the chat's like, but I'm keen to understand, like, what is your feeling around the nature of people backseating?
I would like to believe that it comes from a
Stop it.
good place in people, that like they're watching someone play the game for the first time. I'm playing a game that they obviously really love. It might be their favorite game. It might be something that's very close to them. So they want me to experience the game in the best possible way. But a lot of the times, the best possible way is just to figure it out as you go, not to really
Guzu
go the
cooking
most
right now.
efficient way, right? I don't really mind it because I believe it comes from a good place. Some people are obviously trying to spoil and trying to, make...
Guys, I'm just glad that like my community has become the least aboba, least backseating, most positive community in the RuneScape section. And so W's in the chat for the Sard community here, just absolutely smashing it by never abobaing and just being kind to each other, not starting any arguments in the chat over who's right, who's wrong. None of that type of behavior is going on over here, and that's why most people are saying we have something special going on right here in this community.
Make sure you are aware of certain things to ruin it for you. But I think most people just want you to enjoy the game, and they want to make sure that you're doing it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that there's no right way. Just play however you think is fun and go about it. It can be frustrating sometimes when you're streaming and you have a lot of people, hundreds or maybe thousands of people being in talking to you like, okay, go do this and then go do that. No, you need to do this. No, you need to do that. You just gotta kind of do what you enjoy, have fun with it, and then if you have any questions, the community is more than happy to tell you what to do.
Yeah. As soon as you open that door,
Okay.
It's a slippery slope, right? And that's why I say like I'm partially unguided, because I do have my chat to help me, and they guide me towards like, okay, guys, what should I do next? What would be a good goal? Oh, Dragon Slayer 1. Work towards that. And I'm like, okay, let me look at the requirements. Let me figure it out. Oh, guys, we gotta do this quest. Okay, it's over here. Let's figure it out. But it can definitely become like a very frustrating when you're live and you're trying to do a puzzle, and then you have a lot of people trying to spoil it, and some people are trying to like, it's super fun streaming it. It's so fun, but it can also be very frustrating.
I kind of love your community that you've built up around the fact of like no spoilers, so to speak, because whenever I see someone, it's like the chat gets filled with a boba. It's kind of like those that are against spoilering, like kind of start
It's like a war.
friendly bullying those who are trying to spoil. And I love that you have that, because sometimes like that doesn't happen. People will just be like completely against it and trying to ruin that experience as well. And I remember fondly of you were doing Monkey Madness, and it was trying to figure out what to do with the child monkey, and people were putting emote only, and it's like the monkey, banana, and then a lady, and it's like, oh wait, what does this mean? It's like you're doing your own puzzles with chat.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, so like whenever I do big quests like Monkey Madness or Dragon Slayer or Morning's End, all those things, I usually try to I close my YouTube chat and I put my Twitch chat in emote only, and it's a little...
Yeah, YouTube. Is anybody from YouTube headquarters listening? Can we please get emote only chat for YouTube? Like, how is that not... Why are there no features on YouTube live streaming? Like, are we under a rock over there, YouTube? Like, what... Can we please get, like, some basic stuff like polls and emotes and like, sub-only mode or something, okay? Something.
It's funny because it is a little bit of a puzzle with chat because like I can kind of say something. I'm like, oh guys, I'm gonna go over here, and then they all start being sad, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's not. Maybe we shouldn't go over here, and I'm like, oh, maybe we're gonna go over here to this house, and they're like very happy, like smiley face, yes, a good house. So it's like I'm not fully blind. I get guided towards the direction that's correct. But it's up to me to find the correct way, right? So, but it's super fun. I love it. I have had such a blast, like going through these quests, and there's so many more to come as well.
Even with the shades?
Yeah, more. You're talking about Morning's End, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It was fantastic. Listen, that quest was it was a quest.
It's something, right?
No,
Beautifully
I like
designed.
it. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it when it was done.
Yeah.
It was a
I loved it when it was over.
12-hour quest. And I believe 8 of those 12 hours was just the light puzzle.
Yeah, being beat on by shades the whole time.
Yeah, that was great.
The bank, get food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say there have been 2 times I've been watching you, and I thought, oh no, we're gonna lose him. As in, like we're gonna lose you. We're gonna lose you playing the game.
No,
that was that, and then that zombie act grind too. Those 2 things.
Can't believe Guzu got the quest gate
I went
blind.
2,400 kills on Zombie Axe, and
2,400?
1,800 of those melee.
Yeah, I was gonna say you weren't barraging,
No, because
Oh.
I didn't have freaking runes, and I don't want to go to barrows because I want to farm this thing. Because I'm very one-track mind. Okay, I see
no.
zombie
You set a
axe.
goal, right? And go for it.
I
want to
get that axe now, so I decided not to farm any more barrows.
Dude, can you imagine your Twitch chat meleeing for Zombie Axe for 2 days straight? That dude, people must have been like spamming barrage. There must be barrage emotes in his chat from all the aboba.
And I just grinded with my dragon scimitar on zombies for a whole day, one and a half days.
I guess it's like an extension, just AFK and crab, right? But you've got a goal behind it, so you were getting some XP at the same time.
Yeah, but in a way it's fun because I'm streaming it, right? So I can talk to my community. We talk about all kinds of different things and joke around and stuff like that. So it becomes a little bit of like a just chatting kind of game, you know, that's like I thought WoW was just chatting, but then I realized that RuneScape is a whole different level, right?
RuneScape is a different level of just chatting.
Things that are engaging, and then there's things that are AFK, so you can swap it up.
Yeah, you can choose your moments.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
You also do some variety content too on other days.
Yeah.
I'm curious, and you don't have to, if you'd rather not answer, absolutely fine. When as a streamer, do you have to consider like the commercial, like I guess the appeal of the games you're playing? Like, oh no, if I play this, I might not get enough viewers, and then it's not a viable game to play like financially.
No, I mean, of course, it's definitely something that you got to keep in mind as a streamer, right? Because ultimately, you want to play what. First of all, you want to play what you think is fun, and you want to play what your stream think is fun, right? And sometimes those two don't coexist.
Sure.
But I'm quite lucky in the fact that like I've built up a good community that kind of enjoys the games I like as well. I like the older games. I enjoy, like, I played through Fable 1. I'm going to do some Zelda Ocarina of Time, stuff like that, like old school games that I never really got to play through.
Oh, no, because Guzu was getting like 6K viewers playing RuneScape. He was popping off. I was getting 6K viewers playing RuneScape. I ain't going nowhere, guys. That would take a lot to get me off the game. Guzu has some serious stamina leaving that kind of viewership.
Through. And obviously, some of the games don't do as well viewer-wise or, you know, money-wise. Yeah. But I think it's also fun just having like a good time with the community. Not everything has to be about maximizing the views, right? Always. So
yeah, he really doesn't care about
mix it up a
viewership,
bit,
which is actually admirable.
And the best possible thing you can do is find a good middle ground where you like it and your community likes it, right?
Yeah, I suppose it's almost like a way of acquiring some more work-life balance because your work is playing games. You probably your life want to be playing games, and that's the kind of way of achieving that little bit equilibrium.
I've done it because I really love RuneScape. It's so fun. I played for the majority of my time at the moment, but I'm just swapping it up from time to time because a lot of my core community obviously came from WoW, and they're like, what the heck, this guy's just doing RuneScape now, like what is he doing? So I just swap it up a little bit from time to time, have a good time with it, and just, you know, gives me an excuse to crab as well on the side if I want to do that.
Nice.
I love seeing the little crab windows and never people stream.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
You can go through and just like, they've got the plugin that's been left on, and you can check their gear, and like, oh, they're still at the crab.
Yeah.
Well, did I hear you right in saying I'm going to be that one guy right now? You've never played Ocarina of Time?
So I played as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I played as a kid, but I was very young. Okay, I was like 8 years old, and I got out to Hyrule Field, and then there's like a graveyard.
I never played
after
Zelda
that, and
ever.
It was really scary, so I couldn't
Or Elden
continue.
Ring.
Oh my, I am so jealous. I would love to be able to go back into that. And
I played WoW, man. Okay, I just played WoW. That's it.
Yeah, me too. But like, I still.
Yeah.
I'm
So
just
many
saying it
games
out
I
of
never
envy.
played.
I would love to go through that experience, and I cannot wait. Hopefully, that's something that you're going to be doing on stream as well.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean that. Yeah, I just want to continue having fun with it, right? I love RuneScape, and people always.
How many zinnies?
Are
I
you
got
gonna
2.
quit? Like when you die on your hardcore, if you die, are you gonna quit?
Got one
It's
today.
over. Like initially, I was gonna play for a week.
Yeah.
That was it. I was gonna play for a week and then do like a, hey guys, I
Same.
played RuneScape for a week. This was my experience, you know, as a WoW player. Make a video about it, talk about it, and then move on.
Yeah.
But
Now you're one of us.
Guys, I was gonna play RuneScape for like 2 days. I was gonna be like, all right, let me take what's left of my 400 viewers from OnlyFans. Saw some people trying RuneScape. Savage was popping off. Guzu was popping off. I was like, fuck. Wow, they haven't quit yet. Maybe I'll try RuneScape. And I was like, I'm gonna lose everybody. My WoW viewers are gonna hate it, and then I'm just gonna come back to WoW. But it'll be a nice, day or two. Try something new for a couple days, dude. Every single day I played RuneScape, I just liked it more and more and more. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna keep playing. And it was awesome, man. That first month of RuneScape when everyone was playing, like all the WoW players, and we were doing the fighter torso and stuff. It was so much fun. Like having a brand new MMO to explore and go after. That was peak, guys. It was so awesome, man. I'm still enjoying the game 6 months later.
yeah, I guess it I didn't expect it, but I just got very hooked on it, and I enjoyed it, and it was a mixture of me really liking it and having such a good reception from people enjoying my approach to things and how I try to stream and how I try to just hang out with people.
I think it's shown people you can enjoy more than one thing at a time. You can like RuneScape and you can like World of Warcraft and you can like playing other games too.
I'm not sure people are
Variety's
convinced about
awesome.
that yet.
Like, do more of that.
It is.
Don't always limit yourself.
I actually think it's really important.
I'm
to
not sure,
experience
guys.
Other games, because it helps you appreciate the parts of games that you really like and those that you don't. And if you've only ever played one game,
It's kind of a thing in the RuneScape community to trap content creators here and not let them leave. It's kind of a thing I've noticed.
then I mean, I think you're just doing yourself a disservice. Well, you will hear me constantly talk about different games that I play, and I will switch between being completely obsessed with one game for a few months and then jump back into another game. But I'll always have the core cycle of things that I'm playing, and that is typically for me Path of Exile, World of Warcraft, and old school RuneScape. They all share very similarities between them. But I love jumping out and going into single player games, getting that role playing experience, and it is so rewarding. So yeah, as Sween said, you can enjoy more than one thing at once. It's okay to not play RuneScape all the time if you want to try and something out, because you might find that actually you find a new appreciation for RuneScape when you come back to it as well.
You
that
do.
never had before.
Very true. Burnout is a real thing, and I feel like a lot of people reach a point with MMOs, very like in particular, where they end up just playing it to play it, and
Yeah.
it doesn't really become like a thing where like, oh, I'm gonna log in, I'm gonna do all these cool things, I'm gonna raid, I'm gonna skill, I'm gonna do all that stuff. It just becomes, oh, I log in just to log in, right? And I feel like when it reaches that point, I think it's healthy to just maybe take a break, maybe play a little bit of a different thing.
I definitely was
back and-
I definitely was burning out on WoW. I think that was like a point for me where I was logging into play to do the Frontier challenge, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And I've been doing the same thing for 3 years. You know what I mean? And yeah, that definitely was what made me want to try RuneScape. And RuneScape has so much more content than WoW. And that kind of blew my mind. So I agree. When you get to that point, you want to kind of switch it up.
and like, man, okay, now I'm like ready to go again, right? It's everything in moderation, obviously, but I say this as a person that's been playing 8 hours per day for the past 72 days. But it's healthy to do, for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the problems with MMOs generally is that because they require so much of a time investment, it gets to a point where you feel like if you're no longer continuing to invest that time, you look back on the time that you have spent and it's almost like quote unquote wasted. And that's because, at least for the people that I've spoke to and had experiences with, is that they forget the fun and joy of the journey that they had getting to that point. So like your time investment wasn't a waste of time. You were having fun, you were enjoying the experience for what it was. But as Guzu mentioned, like if it gets to the point where you're no longer having fun, you're logging in for the sake of it, like maybe it is time to just try something else.
I think just have fun when you're playing.
I'm always using slaughters. That's the thing. I don't even know when I would use that bracelet. It would be for like TOAs. That's all I can think of right now.
And just like enjoy yourself, right? A lot of people are very obsessed with like, oh, I
Yama.
gotta finish this to get to the new thing, thing, right? And they kind of forget to just enjoy what they're doing right now. I mean, for me, I freaking love farming gear, man. It's so fun,
Yeah,
dude.
it
I
is.
obviously I want the gear so I can like do more stuff, but like getting that drop and then
Spiritual
it's so
creatures.
good, man. I love it. That's probably my favorite thing.
Even if it's only a slight power increase. And I know that you're getting that because World of Warcraft is so centralized around gear progression. You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of your character journey as you're doing a dungeon, the first blue drop that you get, you feel that instantly. You probably felt it the time that you got the, what you call them, the maracas, you know, the
the
jump
bobbers,
combos.
man.
Yeah, the bobbers.
Yeah, the bobbers.
Yeah,
They're
like,
good.
You feel it, right? And it feels good. It's rewarding. Like you have that. And it's like, I achieved that. It's so nice.
Yeah, you get the bobbers and you can bop on the blue one, the blue moon. It's so good.
That's why I really appreciate the kind of perspective that you and the other guys have given, because seeing you equip the gear and you're zooming in and you're admiring the fashion scape, like, yes, this is what I look like. And like people like Showbeck do the same thing too.
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
cool.
fun to watch the reaction.
That guy.
Visual progression and seeing the difference in what you're doing, right? Like, oh, now I got the Berserker ring. Oh, now I'm doing more damage. Now I got the Black Mask. Oh, I can imbue it, right? All those things is cool. And what I really like about RuneScape is I don't feel like I have to catch up. I feel like I'm starting almost 2 decades later, right? And I'm just enjoying myself. I'm just having fun. I'm not worried about what other people are doing. I'm on my own little journey, and no matter how long break of I take, if I were to take a break, I could still log in and then just continue where I left off. And it feels great not having that, oh man, I just farmed all these things, and then if I take a break now, then they probably won't be as impactful later on.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that, and I think that's why a lot of people are getting why there's getting a lot of new eyes on OSRS, because it's really cool being able to invest some time into a game and be like, damn, this matters. It's cool.
Yeah.
For your character, because MMOs are an investment.
Definitely. We're really appreciative of the fact that creators like yourself and then your communities who are giving it a go to are giving us the time, because there are so many other games out there.
Yeah.
And for us, we've seen it. Like, we know we had a good game. We've been working on it. We're aware that it's good. And it's nice that, not in an arrogant way.
No, that's fair.
But it's just nice that people look beyond maybe the graphics, or look beyond their first impressions or their expectations rather, and giving it a go. And then some people don't like it and they've kind of said, all right, I'll give it a go. And others have stuck with it and they kind of found the same joy we find in it too. And it's just been really nice to see that and experience it, to watch it, to read it. It's just been well heartwarming.
I think for me personally, outside of that, it's like the best part is being able to relive that joy and wonder of experiencing Gielinor for the first time through someone else, because it's very rare that we get to see that. With an older game that for most people will claim that it's based around nostalgia. I think clearly player numbers these days show that it's actually that we have more new people that are coming into the game, but they're not all streaming, they're not all making videos.
Yeah.
And there's resurgence and yourself coming across. Just honestly, most of the office sat there watching through, being able to just be like, I want to be able to capture that again. And it has been so lovely because the game has got so much to it, I think. And it does get overlooked at times. And it's just been really lovely to see it be brought back to the spotlight.
Yeah, I think for me, I always said, it's like, man, I wish I could do World of Warcraft Classic for the first time.
Yeah.
Like run into Ogrimmar, hear the drums, and like run into the crossroads and see Baron's chat and where's Mankrik's wife and all those WoW memes, right? I wish I could experience that for the first time. And that's kind of what I'm going through now with RuneScape. I'm experiencing all these, like this new music and this new zones and all the dialogue and the quests and the drops. And I'm slowly unveiling a whole new world that I've never really seen before. And I think that's very rare that you can do that and you can share that with a big community, which is why I like to believe that people enjoy it, right? And I know for myself as well, I'm like, okay, I just farmed my zombie axe, right? Man, I want to see how the other guys reacted to their zombie axe. I want to see if they went as dry as I did, or like, I got my black mask at 33 kill count. How far did they get it, right? Or how did they react to Elvark in Dragon Slayer 1, or all those things? Like I kind of also go back and I look at the other streamers. I'm like, damn, dude, this is pretty cool, right? Seeing that excitement is
awesome.
sick, and I think it's cool being able to share that with a bunch of people watching.
How much do you speak to the, the others that you've played, World of Warcraft with, came across the old school? Do you have like a little secret Discord server you're all chatting in, sharing clips and drops and your logs and stuff? Or
I mean, the WoW creators do talk to each other. I think some people talk more to each other than others. We do like, we're all kind of like, you kind of all know each other, right?
Yeah.
Like here and there, like we share like some thoughts and some drops. Like whenever I remember I was driving home for a while. I was like on a big road trip home, like 20-hour drive. And then like halfway through, I went on a hotel and I was like, man, I need to go sleep. I've been driving for 10 hours, man. And I opened my Discord and I see Shubik DMing me that he got Zombie Axe like 300 kill count. And I'm like, you little bitch. So it's funny. It's like a little banter and it's like people are just like following along with each other and like people are reaching out like, hey, do you want to do Royal Titans together and stuff like that. So it's cool being able to share that excitement with someone. And there's also been a lot of people from the old school RuneScape content creator scene that's been very engaging with us, talking to us. Like I've talked a lot to a guy called Fox, good old Fox. I like him a lot.
Yeah. He's going to appreciate that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, Fox is awesome. That's good. And Mots and a bunch of other people that we just talk to them and we hang out and it's just a good experience, I think. Like friendly banter, right?
I think it's lovely to see, at least from our perspective, how welcoming everyone has been. Obviously, there are bad actors in every community and there will be people that are going to, try and tarnish that experience. But I guess generally speaking as a whole, how have you found coming into the community?
I think it's been extremely welcoming.
Community's been great over here, man.
Old school RuneScape community is very passionate.
The content creators have all been really nice.
They really want you to enjoy the game, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say it's been 99% positive. People have been so welcoming. People leave so many nice comments on YouTube and I've even seen some Reddit posts whenever I've done something. I did the fire cape and I got my fire cape and they were like, man, like, this was so wholesome. Like, I wish I could do that again. It was fun following along with the journey. And it makes me feel good that like, there is some positivity and people are vibing because I feel like a lot of stuff these days are very negative focused and it's a lot of like negativity everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's just cool seeing some people vibing and celebrating a cool game and having fun together.
I'd like to ask, it might be too soon, maybe you haven't experienced enough old school yet to answer. If you're here at Jagex right now, if we were to say, okay, after the podcast, go upstairs, sit with Modash and he'll say, all right, tell me what you want to add to the game, I'll do it right for you right now. What would you ask for if we gave you the keys to the game?
That is extremely difficult to answer. I don't know. It's hard, right? Because it's a slippery slope with adding things, right? Because I think what makes old school RuneScape so unique is that it's pristine in a way that it's stayed true to what it is. Even when there's new content, it still kind of fits the same vibe. I will say I hate
Bronze Man mode official, no PvPing, loot, and a better like way to group and party up with people and find people in the game. Like a guild system.
The clan UI.
Okay.
So I would probably
clan
fix
UI.
Because that is really annoying. I do not like that
clan
UI.
and friends chat.
That's something I would change.
UI.
But I've been enjoying it, man. I think it's been a good process with the whole game. It's an extremely overwhelming game as a new.
No, like in the Bronze Man mode, you could PvP people's loot, but you can't. It doesn't count as getting it in the collection log. So you can't equip it unless you've earned it from the boss that it drops from.
Player, and I think the barrier for entry is quite hard.
It's basically Iron Man, but it's Iron Man, but you can use the Grand Exchange after you've unlocked the item. You can buy and sell it after you've unlocked it in the log.
Not streaming, because obviously I'm streaming. I can get so much help from everybody. I have so many knowledgeable people in chat that can just guide me if I need help. But a lot of people don't have that, and it's
Bronze Man.
I think
but you can PvP in Bronze Man, so
really daunting.
You have to take that part out.
How you would really work on that? I think the activity advisor is great, but maybe I would change that a little bit. Like maybe figure out a way to make that guide people a bit more in a direction. Not put them on a railroad and be like, oh, now you got to do this and that and this. But like give people options, because I think the activity advisor for me as a new player was what really made me actually delve out and go to content. And eventually I stopped using it. But I think the game is good, and I'm a bit of too new of a player to really have a lot of big opinions about a lot of changes and stuff. But I hate the clan UI.
Okay.
I do not like it.
Noted. We'll make a note.
Respectable.
What about non-PvP items? I think they should add some items to the collection log, and then some of them should just not matter at all. Like, I don't think you need a bronze hatchet in the collection log. I think that you should just be able to buy and sell bronze hatchets. Ooh, I got a superior. But there's some items that might need to be added to the collection log, and that would be an entire discussion for a bronze man. But for the most part, I don't really care. They could just use the same collection log they already have. It would be nice to have that mode. All right, boys, maybe we get a heart right here. Maybe we get a heart. Did we pay out the last prediction, by the way? Will I get a Zenite? Was a yes. I think we paid it out, right? Okay, good.
Respectable
And
answer.
we'll ask you again in a year or so. When we
Okay.
get
Yeah,
more
it's
experience behind you.
been updated.
Little heart, maybe?
So in terms of like adding content, right? One of the things if you were given the key, that's obviously a big if.
Yeah.
School relies on the community voting on content. How do you feel about that? The polling system.
I think it's great. I think it's a really good way of going about it. I think it's very difficult though, because obviously I'm not a developer. I don't make games. I'm a consumer. I think listening to community feedback is extremely important, but it's also something you got to take with a bit of grain of salt, right? Because not always the players knows what they want, because each person has their own like reasons
Dark
for
totem
wanting
base.
stuff change, right? Maybe some people is playing a main and they want a certain change, but that will affect the
Damn.
Iron Man players negatively. So it's a slippery slope with adding things. But I think the way that the polling system is built up is great, because it shows that there's a lot of communication from the JMods to the community. And I think that's what people really appreciate about it. The fact that like we matter, right? Players matter. And I think that's important, because it can, whenever companies get very big and games grow in size, the
Blizzard, yeah.
distance between the players and the developers tend to grow a lot. Like the distance is larger, and it loses a bit of the connection. So I think the polling system is a great way of keeping that connection and really understanding what people like.
It's a really valid point, and particularly around like when a company grows. Sometimes it's not because of like malicious reasons.
Yeah.
So when I joined the old school team, I was the 18th person, and we had the weekly Q&A live streams, and it was a pretty fixed roster of people who'd go on. And I felt the players knew who was working on anything at any one time. But as the team grows bigger and bigger, and we're working on more projects, quests, skills, whatever at the same time like we are now, I think it becomes harder to have that really one-to-one connection with players, because there would be so many. And you can't get, we can't have all, I don't know how many JMOs are now in the old school team.
I couldn't tell you, and I see them at the
Let's say
bottom
like
of the news posts
80
every
or something
week,
like
so
that.
yeah.
We can't have all 80 on like a podcast
88 crafting right now.
or like on one single live stream. So it becomes harder to have that same connection, and we have to try and find alternative ways.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like a thing that comes with growth, I think, and it's something you got to deal with in a certain way. But I think the old school team, you guys have done a great job at actually managing to still listen to people and listen to feedback, because I think as players and as consumers of a product, people love and really appreciate honesty. And hey guys, we're aware of this, we messed up, or we just being honest about things and being able to be upfront is really good, because you don't want to lose the trust of the players, because the players is what keeps the game alive, right?
Yeah, it's so true. I think we try our best to maintain that as well. So I'm glad that it's kind of like coming through and noticeable.
Yeah.
I didn't ask you to be,
No, exactly.
in a way to be glazed. I was just curious, because some people genuinely like have, they feel like the poll system can be quite restrictive in the sense of they want content to come out and it to be exciting. And I've watched you read through blogs, for example.
You guys notice that our generation has put like some negative connotations on positive things. Like people are like, oh yeah, they're using this term glaze. Like glaze is just being positive, but it's a negative connotation it's like making you feel bad for being positive. What is wrong with our generation? Why can't we just be positive people and then be positive about being positive? Like why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we have a negative term for being positive?
And figure out what's coming out for an update. I saw you go over the sailing video and all that kind of stuff. So I was curious if you had that kind of view, or if you were more of the, actually, this is really nice to just see that interaction happens.
No, I quite like it. I think it's good. Obviously, everything has its drawbacks. You can't get a perfect system. The best thing you can really do is get a good in between, right? And I think you guys have managed to, over the years, to build up a quite nice system that obviously works, because people enjoy the content. Not everything is a hit. Not everything is the best content ever, but that's just really how it goes. But I think as long as listening to the community and just keeping it as it is and like making sure that people's voices are heard. I think that's important.
Well, if there's anyone from Jagex watching, you heard it here from Guzu. Like, keeping in touch with the community is important. We've got to focus on that. So we'll carry on growing the community team. Thanks.
Yeah.
You mentioned like the whole, hey guys, sorry we messed up. I thought we've said that. We've had to say some variation of that a lot of times over the years. So
Yeah.
we're not perfect.
I mean,
we've had to apologize quite often.
There's been some bad shit that's happened at times,
Yeah.
and sometimes we've not even been very good at apologizing for
True.
it. But we do try at least to learn from those mistakes and do better the next time round.
I mean, we're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? Everybody might not be every single piece of content or every single piece of update that's great or people appreciate, right? And maybe there's sometimes something that's not really that good, but just being honest, I think people appreciate, right? And then try to work on it. I think that's important as a very community-based game, which old school RuneScape is, at least from what I can see.
Okay,
Absolutely.
community events. We've done a few ourselves. What if you had the power to do a community event? In-game, out of game? Did you catch any of the OTK event, for example?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you had
that
the
was so
ability
much
to,
fun.
Would you want to do something like that? If so, what would it be?
That's a very big question. I think
Full of them.
community events are great. I think they're awesome because being able to bring a lot of people together from all sorts of different personalities is awesome, and especially if it can be like an IR.
I personally think that OSRS is like, I'm kind of fiending for another community event. I feel like we haven't really had one since the OTK thing. Like, and then before that was the Bronze Man All Stars. DMM is coming soon, but I would like another content creator event soon. Something for us to be excited about, because OnlyFans is coming sometime next year, and all the content creators are going to be busy doing that. So it'd be kind of cool to do another something in RuneScape before then.
IRL event where you can have some interactions with them and
Another
some
DMM
stuff
All
like
Stars
that.
next
And
year. Okay, that'll be good.
What I would like to do, that's very hard to answer. I think the OTK event was really great. It was very hectic, we'll say.
Oh yes, it was.
Yeah, it was chaotic, man.
It was very hectic, but we had the whole soda block thing with that going on and everything like that. But I think the way that Gielinor games is structured is really well made. I think those challenges and all those different things they're doing, like, is so sick. And I think if you could somehow manage to figure out a way to make.
I love these questions, by the way. I just love these questions that these guys are asking these questions, because this shows you how hard it is to be a developer, because everybody can show up to Thanksgiving and be like, yeah, I like the food, and eat the food. Everyone can show up and eat. But like, if you were going to be like, okay, when you're asked the question of being put in the developer seat, being put in the position of being the cook, like, what would you change about the meals? What would you make differently? If you could bring a dish, what would you bring? Like, those are the questions that people don't know how to answer. Like, people think they know. Like, being a developer is so hard. And after being a streamer, I realized that I can criticize the game all day long. I like this. I don't like that. I don't like this about sailing. I don't like, that it's agility. What would I do differently to make it fun? And I'm like, oh shit. Like, now you give any opinion in front of a couple thousand people, and then you very quickly see that you don't have good ideas. You think you have good ideas, and you don't. Because it gets shot down 90% of the time when you think you have a good idea. And that's why it's hard to be a developer. And so I can see that Guzu is like, yeah, he's better at just saying what he likes and doesn't like than being a developer, because he hasn't been in that seat. And being in that seat is very hard.
Make that into an event live, that would be pretty crazy. It's a very hard thing to do production-wise, but I think it's possible because there's so many good challenges you can do in RuneScape.
So would you be thinking of like transitioning RuneScape challenges into real life challenges?
Yeah, I mean, you could do like a mixture of them, right?
Yeah.
You could do something similar to the OTK event where they did like a bunch of RuneScape stuff and then they mixed in some IRL. I think the focus should primarily be RuneScape.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I think it's a gaming event and I think that's the most exciting. Obviously, mixing in some IRL could be good, but honestly, if I could make an event, I guess.
I like what Jagex is doing right here. I like content creators coming in to talk about the game, and maybe they could even one-up it on the podcast where they want to talk about improving the game, developing the game. They can I would love to see like a more in-depth questions too. Like if they prepared Guzu for this and he came in with things from his community and they're like, hey, we're gonna do a segment where we talk about things to improve in the game. Can you talk to your community and you come in with suggestions from your community and you talk about that kind of stuff too. I'd love to see content creators and things like that where you talk about the game and improving the game and making a more community, doing fun events for the community. I would love to see more stuff like that.
Shout out to Soup, obviously. If he could make an IRL Gielinor games like a LAN, that would be crazy.
All right.
A trading card game in OSRS.
If we want to publish this, we probably have to follow up with Sue and be like, okay, dude, let's make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah, live Gielinor games.
Like the Inferno video. Urgus, thank you, buddy.
I don't know why.
That would be so hard though with all the POVs.
Yeah,
because there's so many people playing, right?
There's so many thoughts going through my head now of like, right, we've got to teach people how to cut down trees safely. What if someone like wants to smith like a bronze dagger or an iron dagger? They've got to learn how to be a blacksmith.
You know what? Never mind. It's a bad idea.
It's the complete opposite as well. I was like, but then in my head I was like, what if it's like Takeshi's Castle?
Okay.
You ever watch that show? It's like,
the game show. It's so good.
And I would love to see that.
Well, I'd love to see the elimination and the voting, and like you see how much, see how dramatic Gielinor games gets. How like
would they be as dramatic in real life?
Well,
that would be okay. That would be extremely difficult production-wise. I think getting all the POVs correct would maybe be hard. You know what? That's just like the fantasy. Okay?
Yeah, we can have pipe dreams.
We can do that.
Just a pipe dream. It is what it is.
Man, get the marketing budget.
I can also lock eyes at our production team who are sitting in the same room. Like
they all look so terrible.
Make this happen.
Just
guys.
make it.
Turned away.
Just make it. It's fine.
Oh, brilliant.
Right,
no, but there's a lot of cool things I think you can do with the game, and I think that's what's beautiful about it, because there's so many different like challenges that you can make for yourself, like the bingo stuff as well. That's coming out as well soon, right? That's sick too.
Yeah, actually, about that, is it something that you think you'll try out?
I might. I have absolutely no idea.
This
what
is
I would
pre-Gridmaster.
because I don't really know what I'm doing half the time in the game, but I think it's sick. I think it's awesome. Like stuff like that
It's a little while ago.
Cool that you can do an event like that.
I mean, the good news is with things like leagues and then Gridmaster, which is a bingo thing, is that it's not quite as open. You have a list of tasks, you have a list of tiles to complete for bingo, so it is almost like you won't be as lost. But then there's obviously drawbacks too. I've seen a ton of this.
Looking at Colo, not yet.
Some of the benefits of old school are permanent progression, that kind of thing, and then we point to like, hey, here's a seasonal game mode, or here's like a short form event. So we juggle the benefits and negatives of both.
I think it's good to do seasonal things from time to time as long as it doesn't take away from the main
My
game.
clan chat is my name in the bottom left if you want to join the
like,
clan chat.
Oh, okay.
Spell
this
like
is
that.
the thing we're doing for fun. Maybe you can get some sort of cosmetic rewards, but then it's also like, okay, you don't want to have people have FOMO with like, oh, now I have to do this to get these cosmetics. So you want to try to balance those things as well, right? Make sure that people can do it at their own pace, because I feel like that's what OSRS is very much about.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't feel like you have to do this to get these things, right? But I like the idea behind like the leagues and the small little events, because it's, again, community based.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Yeah, obviously something a bit different.
Yeah, and with like the whole cosmetics and locked out stuff, like we get it. Everyone that works at Jagex is a gamer. Everyone that works in the
The
old school
clan?
team
Yeah, with the
pretty
WoW-
much
with the
plays
WoW
old school
players.
as well, and we know what we do and don't like in other games. And these cosmetics that come out in these game modes is like, okay, yeah, you might only be able to get the points from the game mode, but if you don't want to do the game mode, you can just buy them from someone else.
No.
And if you're an Iron Man and you miss leagues, well, join the next leagues. You'll be able to buy all of the other cosmetics from before. Holiday events, you'll get them all from previous events as well, because it is just like, it is about that. It's like having the opportunity to get it if you want it, and if you don't feel like you're missing out.
Yeah, and I think that's good. That's a very big strong point for RuneScape. The fact that you don't have to do things if you don't want to, and you don't, oh, now I have to play these next 2 weeks because if I don't do it, I won't ever get this item, right? That's a really bad thing, I think.
So I'm not too familiar with World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
My experiences are trying to play it on a really, really bad laptop, and then it would melt after 30 minutes, and I have to wait till it cool down, and I can play it again for another 30 minutes. So I didn't get far.
Classic with me for about 5
Damn.
minutes. And you're like, I can't do the buttons, I'm leaving.
Yes, we also did that too. I couldn't play it. I was not very good. So this question might not make sense, in which case we'll move on, and you ask a question. Is there anything from World of Warcraft, WoW Classic, that you would bring? It could be like content like for like, or it could be just element of like design philosophy that you could bring over to old school that you think old school's missing, but Blizzard and WoW do really well.
An action bar. I'm joking.
That's very hard to answer. That
Such a
is
different game.
extremely difficult, because I feel like a lot of the things that there are in World of Warcraft you have in RuneScape, but in a different format, right?
Sure, okay.
Because the games aren't necessarily the same, but they run in the same kind of fashion with like they're both MMOs. You have raiding, you have PvP content, you have dungeons, you have all those different kind of things. And what makes them good is that they're different, I think, in many ways. But I don't know. The first thing that came to mind when I was
2v2 arenas.
Some sort of battleground, but there are obviously LMS, which, you know, people like, but there's also a lot of issues with that.
Yeah.
Nadu, thank you for the prime.
Arena, which is very interesting too. I did that a little bit. It was actually quite fun because I got some actual battles in, and I actually won a few games.
Nice.
I won, yeah, that's pretty good. But it's
Make
hard
Castle Wars
'cause
matter?
I feel like a lot of the stuff that WoW offers, RuneScape does have, but in a different way,
Okay.
right? So because there's raids, there's dungeons, there's the leveling.
So Battlegrounds is like a kind of queue for.
They need some kind of rating system. Yeah, some kind of rating system for PvP. And maybe some kind of rating system. I guess they have the delve, which is the closest thing right now is like how many delves can you do in the 6-hour time limit? Or an ELO system for LMS, maybe. ELO systems are actually not great. They're great for new players, but like not fun for like once you the problem like with the ELO systems is you'll consistently play against people that are like Smurfs and stuff like that, and then once you get better at the game, there's no way to know if you're getting better because you're always playing against people that are kind of right on the same caliber as you. So there's good and bad to that too.
Or PvP system, and you can queue in and you go into it, and that has its own grinds attached, has its own rewards and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Like something like
a
that. For
lower
sure.
level
like,
raid for
something
mid
where you
game.
can- Yeah, exactly. Like go in and then do some PvP and stuff. Because I think a lot of
We just riff off like LMS in essence, right? Different versions of that.
different versions of that could be kind of interesting. Because I think a lot of people would enjoy that in a way. Because obviously the game is very much focused on PVM, right? Like the
So
raids and the
TOA?
dungeons, that's the big thing. Same thing in WoW.
Yeah, TOA is
The
super
PvE
easy
is the
actually
main
because you could do it on a 0.
focus, but having something like that, I think would be very interesting for sure.
I have two things that I think about somewhat frequently, if you don't mind. I'll add them
Yeah,
in.
sure.
And one of them is actually more dungeons. I think we need more content for like the mid to end game that isn't so solo. And like I don't think we've like essentially what I'm saying is a more entry level raid that is actually entry level. The problem being though is that we know.
Well, name something that you can do with somebody else when you're leveling and you're not at end game. The only thing I think of right now is Royal Titans and the fighter torso, Barbasol. No, you can't do Yama. That's too hard. Huey's good. Huey, Royal Titans, and Barbarian Assault. You could do Group Scurious. What if there was a skill like Slayer where you could do duo tasks and it was faster? Like 10% faster or something. That used to be a thing, used to exist. Oh, really? I don't know. I'm thinking outside the box here. World bosses. Rare spawns. Sharp Progenies? Yeah, you need dancers for that. I don't want dancers. I want to level my melee. The reason I'm doing Slayer is because my melee's ass. I just want a melee for the next month.
The cost of developing something like that is actually so high that you'll get to the point of doing the content and then you'll only ever need to do it once because you'll be past the point of caring about it in the future. But I would really love to see there being more reasons for lower level players to come together that isn't the similarities of like, I know that we've got, you know, like the Royal Titans recently and other pieces.
Royal
that
Titans
came
is
out,
great.
but an
I mean, maybe
actual
just
dungeon like Chambers of Xeric, which is obviously a raid, but smaller.
yeah, maybe
And
just
then the
more
other one is
stuff like
really
that.
controversial. And it would have
Sailing you can kind of do together with other people now, right? You can ride other people's boats. Like if there was a way to play together with people for sailing, if you could level up your sailing on someone else's boat and stuff too, that could be a great way to like have a duo leveling skill, you know?
have to be approached with caution. And I don't know whether actually it's that, like, I think that we would
Player
want it.
crewmates.
Like if players would want it or
Player
not.
crewmates.
But some form of looking
Could
for
be a
group
great way of
raids.
like
because
what if the meta was to level with somebody else with sailing? Like it was actually faster. So there was a real benefit looking for one crewmate and people were all at the port looking to try and find people to level up with because it was like 10 or 15% faster to level with a partner for sailing. Then you don't have to do trials the whole time. Or you could just do trials the whole time if you want. But like there needs to be an incentive to play with others. Otherwise people won't do it.
I think that a lot of people actually struggle to find partners for things like Theatre of Blood, especially.
It doesn't
the
have to be
higher
much
level
much
TOAs,
faster, but
and,
there needs to
it's
be an
restricted to
incentive.
you have to be on the same world as someone. They have to form a party. Like no one is using that party board to recruit members into their teams, apart from maybe on the We Do Raids world. So having the ability to be able to just say, I want to queue into a Theatre of Blood.
People would just
be queued
use their
with
alts.
people and then be
Oh,
put
shit,
in the
true.
area. And maybe that's like where you agree on accepting everyone in or not. I don't know. The downfall of that, though, is that I really disliked how much it turned, for example, World of Warcraft into a very much a solo experience. You never have a reason to
No, you wouldn't have to do it. It would just be an option. Like it's just an option to level up your sailing with somebody else on someone else's boat. Could be good.
interact with anyone anymore. But the convenience of it was like so good. Like I don't struggle with raids because I can just call upon people. You know, I know that you'll want to do a raid at some point, or other people that I've met throughout the community. Not everyone
sailing raid
has the ability to do that. Some people aren't the type of people that want to go onto a Discord server, chat to people to make friends and stuff like
Fair
that.
point. I think to what Guzu said about the clan UI and things like that, I feel like that's something we try and tackle first before we need to resort to.
Yeah.
resort
So
to
I'm not
an
saying like,
LFG.
that's why I said it's really controversial. I don't think that's the right solution, but some form of system that can help bring people together to go and do a raid.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think a big
exactly.
problem
Looking
with-
for group,
with
looking for raid.
WoW that a lot of people had was like it became very much like you just queue up and then you get teleported in and then you go through it and then that's it, right? You don't want it to turn into that. So if there were to be a thing like that, I think it's quite important that there will still be some sort of interaction. Okay, you queue
Still
up,
have to
maybe
talk
you
to
get
someone.
sent into the beginning of the arena and you can talk and you can see, okay, this is a player. Do we want to go? Let's go. Okay, let's send it, right? Let's go together. So it's definitely something that's possible to have, but it's very difficult to do right because you want to make sure that it still stays within the realms of what RuneScape.
Please don't make you. I like how you guys think that just because there's an option to play with someone else that you have to do that. There's already sailing exists in the game, which is 100% solo just about. That wouldn't change. You're just giving people the option if they want a level duo. It's like raids. It's just another option.
Is about and what people view it as the game, right? In terms of like the
Or make it the exact same speed as doing a trial is playing with someone else. Like make it the same XP per hour. And then you do either or.
game raids and stuff like that. Obviously, I haven't really done any raiding yet, but I as a new player, I quite appreciate that there are some content in the early game that's new and that's challenging, like Scurious. It's not obviously not a raid, but it's some entry-level PVM where like, okay, you can get a taste of what the game has to offer. It's not really like a thing that you'll farm forever. It'll give you some good combat XP. Maybe you can get the bone and like make some weapons, and then you can farm Scurious more. But it gives you a little bit of an idea of like, okay, what does this game actually have to offer? And I think having like an early mid more raids, or the mid game more like raids could be interesting because I think it shows like, okay, this is what the game is gonna turn into, right? This is what you can expect for some PVM encounters. I think that'd be cool. I think early game stuff is fun for sure. But my first big like wow moment with RuneScape was like when I got to Scurious and I saw like, oh my god, I gotta like swap my overheads now. I gotta like, okay, he's eating cheese. I gotta like kill the ants. And it was like, man, that's when I realized, okay, there's actually a lot more to it than.
What about, Slayer task? If you could get like a boss task where you could group up with people. Those are kind of cool. Like a Hogger quest, like an elite quest in WoW, where you needed a friend to probably go with you to help you complete it. That could maybe work if we cook that a bit.
Just why right click or left click? Sorry.
Yeah. I'm really glad that you got
Partner
that experience,
Slayer
'cause that is
already
exactly
existed.
What
Okay.
the intention of Scurious was to give players
Something
at
like
kind of
that,
level
yeah.
a taste for what's to come and start preparing them for also what's to come as well. So
Yeah.
that you start figuring out gear switches, you start figuring out that NPCs have mechanics, and then from there we've added a few more. And I think like
I wish
for a
Partner
while,
Slayer
we've
wasn't
focused
shit.
quite
Is it
heavily
bad?
on
I've never
early and
played it.
mid-game. Not super early game, but now we're probably at the point where okay, we want to do a little bit more end game stuff, and that's a bit of the focus
Even
at
it
the
out.
moment.
Because I feel like a lot of people who played RuneScape when they were younger.
Yeah, there's some things that just really work well in World of Warcraft that might not work in RuneScape, like elite quests, like group quests, or group tasks, like wanted posters, where you have to go and kill an elite mob together. It's interesting to think about, though.
Remember killing cows, and that's very much a click and wait, click and wait, and then people carry that notion into the future, or into now rather. I've always said like old school RuneScape, super low skill floor, click and cow, and then you can go as far. You can probably get a maybe not a quest cape nowadays with some of the like Sins of the Father and stuff like that, but you could get quite far just clicking and waiting. But then also the skill expression, the high score ceiling. I mean, old school is really good for that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different approaches to the game, but definitely giving people the options to experience some of the harder content or more challenging stuff, even in the earlier game, I think it's quite cool because there is not a lot of challenging things before Skurious in a sense of mechanical challenge, right? And I that was definitely a big eye opener for me. Like, damn, there's some interesting stuff in this game that requires a bit more.
I ain't gonna lie, guys. The first month of the game, I safe spotted everything. Maybe some newer, more challenging content that introduce you to the basic combat of RuneScape a little bit sooner before people quit might be a good idea.
Skill than just clicking a cow or just, doing Demon Slayer or whatever, right? So that's cool. And definitely, if there was those raids and people could have an easier way of playing with each other, that would definitely be awesome. But
let's be honest, the first difficult content in the game is literally the Grand Master quest. Everything else to me seemed pretty easy, with the exception of like the new, like the Final Dawn, which is a master level quest from the new area of Vlamore. You don't really have too many tough challenges early on. Besides Tree Spirit, which needs to get nerfed. That fight is insane.
But it's something you gotta be careful about, because when you implement a new thing, it might trivialize other things, or it might be it's hard to add like a big thing, like a looking for group, without it kind of not ruining, but changing how people approach the game.
Hence why I said very clearly.
Yeah,
it's very controversial. It's one of those
it definitely is.
I'm not going to be a major proponent for it, but it's something I do think back on quite often, especially because I just see it all the time in the community of people saying like, oh, how do I get into raids? I'd really like to get started. And thankfully, we have quite a lot of people who are out there responding to like, come jump in with me. I'll show you the ropes. And there are even people who make their content around showing other people how to raid and teaching them and stuff, which is awesome to see. But yeah, I would, just to be sure, because I know someone is going to be commenting right now being like, are you just going to ruin the game? No. It's just an idea.
I think discussions like these are good though. Because like, it's not something that you're like, oh, now we're adding this. It's just like, oh, well, what do you guys think? And then maybe there's going to be a lot of people commenting like, what are you talking about? That's silly. And okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But it's a fun discussion to have, and I think it's worthwhile because that's how you gauge the interest for stuff.
I can't believe these guys were thinking about adding something to OSRS.
Old school. Is there anything that you?
How dare
go
they?
Back and play WoW Classic at some point? Anything you'd want to take from old school to WoW Classic, whether it's the way we approach things or content like for like, same kind of question.
I mean, I think the very straightforward answer is the vertical versus horizontal thing, where like WoW's greatest, what made WoW so fantastic was their expansions and their patches. Oh, new patch comes out, Anchorage, there's the war effort. Oh, there's Nax Ramas. Now we got TBC, the Burning Crusade, Illidan is coming out, right? That was their really strong point because they had so many important lore characters that they could use to build hype. But it's also the greatest Achilles heel, because now all the previous content you got gets nullified and it gets a little bit less important. So something that would be really interesting if WoW ever were to go down the route of Classic Plus, that's the big talk all the time about WoW, would be something where like you could grind stuff and it wouldn't feel like it doesn't matter a little bit down the road. A good example of this, I think, is the rank 14 grind, which is the notorious PvP grind in World of Warcraft, where you do 14 ranks up to 14, and then you get some awesome best-in-slot PvP gear. The grind takes, at least before the nerf, because they changed it an anniversary, it took 13 weeks if you did it as fast as you could. When you got the gear, it's the best-in-slot for PvP. It's insanely good, but a month or two later, AQ40 comes out, and now that gear is better than what you just grinded for. So that feels a bit bad, and I think that's what RuneScape has done super well. Okay, I farm my barrows, now I have a really good tank set. Okay, now I go do moons, now I'm getting a few different sets that's hybrid, and now I have these atlatl darts I can use for this. I got the bobbers that I can use for crush. I got like zombie axe with a slower attack speed for like big, damage. There's a lot of different variations of gear that you can use for different situations. Yeah. And I think that's what you guys have done super well. Like just made stuff valuable down the road for all sorts of different things. I farmed my black mask so I can use it for Slayer. So now I have something I can use for this, right? So there's gear sets for different things, and it has different use cases.
And I think it must be tough for them too, because we're a subscription only game, and our whole thing is around like giving longevity to players, extending a lifetime, and giving them a reason to come back, and then feeling that it was easy to come back and return. Whereas they also sub game, but also have box price expansions.
Yeah.
And they want to sell those units too. So then that has to be full of cool stuff, and that has to be full of cool stuff. So they have to have a good motive for players to want to spend their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
So it must be difficult to balance
I
for
think
them.
also just like the general premise of the core philosophy of the game design. I don't see how vertical versus horizontal would I don't see how it could be any different in the way that WoW is currently put together, because the whole point of
Insanely different.
Nowadays anyway, like leveling is no longer part of the journey. Leveling is a task to get to the part of your journey, which is gearing. You're doing raids to get gear, to do harder raids to get better gear, to do harder raids to get better gear. If you were to take that away, I mean, would people still want to be forming 20-man groups to go and fight a boss with gear that they got 3 to 6 months ago because that gear is better against that boss than this boss? But what's the reason for them doing it? In RuneScape, you're doing it because you want to then
You gear to
do
get
another
gear.
goal
I mean,
after that. You are going to
RuneScape has the same thing, but gear is not the end game in RuneScape. Mythic Plus is the true end game of retail, because eventually you beat the raid. Mythic Plus is an infinite push and you can't beat it. And once you have the best gear, the only thing that can push you further in Mythic Plus is skill. And that becomes a very, very challenging thing to like be number one on the leaderboard in Mythic Plus. The true end game of RuneScape seems like it's achievements. It's like the Zuckhelm, right? Is there anything past Zuckhelm? I mean, you just become a clogger after Zuckhelm, right? After you've beat all the collection, after you've beat all the achievements, dude, you're probably maxed by the time you get a Zuck. Maxing comes before Zuckhelm. Nope, F skilling. I think it's faster to max than it is to get a Zuck. If you were to like compare them time-wise, it's subjective based on like who's going for it. Do you think someone can get a Zuckhelm before they can max an account? Didn't a guy maxed an account in like 2 months. There was a guy who literally maxed an account in 2 months. That cost him 10 trillion. Okay. Got my Zuck before max. Okay, so it's going to be dependent because some people max their characters before they start doing anything. So I guess it's just dependent on the player.
to maybe fight something else that you can do solo by yourself, or you're going into a different raid because you now have the right
So
weapons to be able to do
maxing
it.
Zuckhelm and then
when you've fed up
clogging.
with that, you've got all of the skills.
That's the end game.
All of the quests to do, all of the achievement diaries to do, and all that kind of.
Do you guys think that there should be some sort of challenge where you could turn the difficulty up and get a rating based on how high you were able to push? Like, what if the delve increasingly got harder on a challenge mode and the best players in the world could all compete to see how far they could go? Like Mythic Plus in RuneScape. Delve is not that. You do wave, don't you do delve level 8 infinitely? Mythic Plus scales infinitely. It's just a harder version of a delve.
Stuff. So I don't know. I'm interested, Guzu. How do you think it would work?
That is the golden ticket question.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could answer that, then I would have the answer to what is essentially Classic Plus, because that's what people are like, man, like how do we make classic WoW work, vanilla WoW work in that world? I mean, for me, how it would work with World of Warcraft would be like, okay, well, you expand upon the current game that we have, Azeroth, Eastern Kingdoms, and Kalimdor, and you add new zones and new dungeons that doesn't necessarily have better stats, but they have maybe some gimmicky things that they can do for certain areas or certain bosses, or you can utilize for PvP. But it's so difficult because WoW is fundamentally just so different than RuneScape.
Yeah, so like challenge modes with a leaderboard where it's not the number of times you've killed it. It's how difficult and how much of a challenge that you've done. So maybe some way for like the elite players in the game, or for people to be like, yeah, this is my rating for this challenge mode, could be kind of cool. I have to think about that way more, but this is just like a very, very half-baked thought idea.
In the way that the
Something
game
like
works,
Mythic Plus.
that doesn't mean that RuneScape is better or WoW is worse or the other way around. It's just very different versions of the game. That's why it became a really big meme in like the WoW Classic community with like fresh fresh win. When can we reset our characters and go again, right?
Yeah.
Because you reach a point with WoW where like you level and it's super fun, Stranglethorn Veil PvP, pre-biz farming, all that stuff. And then you get to the point where like, okay, I got all my biz now. I'm raiding, I'm enjoying myself. But now I'm like running out of things to do. I can farm gold to get my consumables and I can raid more. I can make an alt and do it again. And then you kind of run out of things to do little by little. And that's kind of their fix to that was, okay, new patch.
Gotcha.
Now you got new content. But with each patch, it kind of makes the previous content less important. Classic WoW is a bit different because there is a lot of resistance gear and Thunder Fury from Molten Core and Choker of the Fire Lord from Blackwind Lair or Onslaught Girdle, a bunch of items that are good throughout the expansion, or throughout the classic experience. And in that way, that's a little bit similar to how RuneScape works, where like you get a bunch of gear that you can use for different situations.
Yeah.
And I think...
Like the mega rares.
the mega rares and like things you can farm for and stuff like that. And I think if they can somehow make that work with a thing like that, then it could definitely be very interesting to see. And if they ever do Classic Plus in WoW, then I'm quite intrigued at how they would tackle a lot of those core
RuneScape 3's enrage
I
mechanics.
guess
I'll look into that.
problems with it, right? Because I don't know. It's a conversation I've had with a lot of people, and definitely starting playing RuneScape, I'm realizing that there is definitely a very different way of approaching MMOs, and
massively
the core
different
fundamental way how the game works.
I think it's probably worth calling out too that there will be some elements of our player base who feel like they've run out of content to do too. But they've reached the end of.
Yeah, this is why I'm saying Mythic Plus was the best thing that WoW ever added to the game. It's not even a question. Just look at the number of people that only play the game now for Mythic Plus. It's the true end game of PVM. It's an infinite scaling system where you get a rating and you can try to push it higher every time you log in. You always have something to do. It doesn't matter how long you've been playing the game. And there's different levels for everyone, and the rewards stop being good after level 10. There's no reason to push past level 10 except for the number. It's just a way of flexing. And MMOs are about flexing. You flex your gear, you flex your Infernal Cape, you flex your hardcore status, you flex everything in an MMO. So giving them more reasons to flex is the reason to play the game. Yeah. So I think that would be nice. An infinite pushing system.
I don't want to talk about the content treadmill, but the people who are constantly at the end game and then we can't keep up. We release a boss and they're like, all right, cool, done it. They've done it in 3 or 4 days.
I mean, if you play a game like 10 hours a day for 2 decades, you're going to run out of content. I mean, I played WoW for, since 2005, playing on and off, right? So I've had a lot of enjoyment out of the game, and it's great. It's a good game. But if they were to expand upon it, how would they do it? I think changing the fundamentals of
there's speed
like
runs.
a few tweaks to.
Listen, speed runs are what happens when there is no rating system. In Classic, we did speed runs. Like speed runs were the only thing you could do because there was no more difficulty. You just see how fast you could clear the raid, and that became the leaderboard. In retail, they actually have a leaderboard, and it's Mythic Plus rating. And then when they got Mythic Plus rating, nobody speed ran anymore because that was a player made up thing. And that might be the same thing in RuneScape. I'm not sure. But that's kind of what we did in Classic.
Some of the classes to make them different, nothing too extreme, keep it to the core fundamentals of what the game is, make new content that is relevant to the current game, and try to expand upon that, right? Because I think
WoW's where WoW's at. Leave OSRS alone. That is the worst take. Like, dude, just think about every company ever. Yeah, it's like, dude, we're Honda. Who cares where Mercedes is at? It's competition, and they're different cars, but you need to innovate and consistently be thinking of how you can improve. And you want to look at what other companies are doing. That's just how businesses work.
that's what you guys did with RuneScape. You expanded upon the game.
Yeah.
And then you just made more and more content. And I think that's what people love. Just seeing new content and still having the old content be relevant.
And you joined at such a good time too. Like
competition breeds innovation.
So lucky.
Well said.
I don't know if it's worth saying this. If not, we can cut it out. We'll see what people say. Vlamore Part 3 launched late. We were aiming to have it ready sooner.
Oh yeah, okay.
But it launched at the time when you guys were playing.
I
it was great.
And it just
I
meant, like,
consistently
you
think
get to
of what would work
experience
in WoW
a
and
new
what would work in
expansion. Even if you're not
RuneScape.
ready, you get to see other people doing it, and you get to see the patch notes and the videos, and there's so much content coming part of it too. So we're crazy lucky because of that.
Yeah, it was insane. And also it added to the fact that you'd had a bit of time to also get familiar with the game as well, so that you knew what new content was and that you knew that you could go in and do it. And yeah.
Oh, it was so sick.
It was all just aligned so perfectly well that it was not a plan.
That's your whole job is to know about your
We've not planned it
competition.
better than that.
No,
There you go,
couldn't have
Chris.
planned it any better than that. All right, well, we've talked a lot about different things here, but I'm curious about a little bit more about you. When you're not gaming, what are you doing?
I mean, not too much. I obviously I have a fiance. She helps me a lot out with my stream and my
I can't believe you
YouTube.
didn't bring the fire cape.
Nah,
It's here. in
It's here.
Instagram.
Oh, is it here?
Yeah,
I
it
just haven't
is.
seen it.
he brought it.
Yes, you did.
It's up there.
Is
You
that what's
saw
on the
it.
table?
Yeah, that's the spark.
Yes. You took the mouse from the PC.
Oh my god, I did.
And it was right next
I
to
saw.
it.
Actually, I didn't even. Okay, I'm so sorry, Guzu. I
No,
didn't
it's
even
here.
click-
It's here. It's
because I
upstairs.
went up to that desk and I was like,
Please bring
there's something on
Savix
this
back.
desk, no one's going to be
I'll
using
tell
it
him
because of
tomorrow. I
that.
think I'm hanging out
It's
with
the
Savix
freaking
tomorrow.
Yes. No, I brought it.
All right, my excuse that was this morning and I was tired.
Okay.
All right.
Tell him.
Okay.
I'll tell
Yeah,
him what else Big Bro said. Savix come back to OSRS. Okay.
We don't have it at the podcast, but the fire cave is here. But
Okay, well, thank you for bringing it. I'm going to go.
we're gonna
and
sign
properly
it.
appreciate it.
yeah, it's cool. I
Okay.
mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, she's amazing. She helps me out with my stream and my YouTube, and I talk way too much about RuneScape and content.
To
and
the point you've got to make a play now.
it's my
Thanks for that.
yeah, all the stuff, right? And whenever I'm not streaming, I'm kind of just hanging out with her. You know, we have a dog. We go with the dog and just chill, watch some movies, relax, right? Because my whole life is like streaming and
You going
video,
Terry
video
Blacks?
making and game.
I think we're going to Triumphant's house. Play some games. Like we just did some board games. Had some margaritas last time at Triumphant's. It was pretty sick. Just kind of like had a couple friends over and just played some board games. It was awesome. We're gonna invite Savix this time. Yo, Toback, thank you so much for the 4-monther.
gaming and stuff like that. So I do game and play stuff like casually here and there, but I like to just relax a bit when I'm not streaming
fair.
and stuff because it's such a big part of my life already.
Nice.
I get OSRS
Fair.
scaled
Do
so
you have a
big.
favourite
There's an
series that you're
add-on
watching
called
or
Scale
favourite
or
movie
something like
that
that.
you've watched recently?
Oh,
Stretch
I like
mode.
old movies. Okay. Like I like movies like Waterworld, Van Helsing, Gladiator.
Guzu loves Waterworld.
We watched recently a movie called The Princess Bride.
Okay.
If you guys know, it's like a comedy kind of. It's an English movie actually as well, but it's really funny and yeah, comedy stuff is really cool. I enjoy that a lot. Series, I mean, kind of jumping from series to series, but I it's hard for me to stick to some. I think
Gielinor Games.
that's a good series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
when it's like not playing RuneScape, just consuming RuneScape. Like
Yeah, it's a lot of RuneScape lately. It's been consuming a big part of my life, I will say. I try to refrain from farming too much when I'm not live, but occasional crabbing must happen.
I don't think I've seen you crabbing today.
No, my phone has been dead.
Okay.
You guys have weird plugs.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I brought like a charger and I realized, oh damn, you guys have those weird like different plugs.
I was waiting for the both of you to turn and be like, "What do you mean? He was crabbing 5 minutes ago."
No, my
I just
phone has been
missed
like
it.
3% battery the entire day, man.
Oh, we're off.
As a creator, because I see, I've met a lot. I've been lucky enough to go to TwitchCon and stuff like that. And I get to hear a lot of different career goals, career paths, people who set out to become a streamer, people who accidentally got into streaming, a mix of the two. What's kind of, I mean, you sound mega content. You get to play games and then you just spend
Thanks,
time
big bro.
with a lovely fiance. Any kind of like next steps you want to take as a creator?
It is so difficult to answer because content creation is so fragile in a way. Like you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I could keep streaming more and more. I could do it for years to come.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I never expected to play RuneScape either. I was to stream it, right? I thought I was going to do WoW content and that stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I try to just make the best of what it is right now. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I have so much support for my streams, my RuneScape, my variety, all the different things I do. And I really appreciate that. But I know it may not last forever. But for the time being, I'm really loving it. I'm glad I have a community that supports me and that likes the content I put out. So I kind of just take it little by little, and whatever happens kind of happens with it, because it's so difficult to predict the future as a content creator. It's like a constant struggle of like staying relevant, right?
I do that. Even the platforms could change, like your YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Like YouTube could change their algorithm, and all of a sudden,
It's so competitive as well. There's so many people streaming. It's crazy. There's a ton of people, and
What are you gonna make with the Zenite?
I don't know what's gonna happen, but
I'm gonna make the bracer, but I'm gonna have to farm two crafting levels and then pie boost. Or I could do 3 crafting levels, which is probably gonna be like another 20k sand. Which is so much fun, and I can't wait to do it. RuneScape hype! But what Guzu is saying right now, he's kind of spitting. Like, content creation is something I always wanted to get into. I always watched streamers, a couple years ago, and I was like, dude, I want to try to be a content creator before I get too old. To be honest with you guys, I already thought I was too old to be a content creator and play video games, but I saw these guys get to play video games every day, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And so like 2.5 years ago now, a little under 2.5, I started streaming. And at first I was doing YouTube, and then I started streaming. And there's a couple things about content creation that are tough. Number one, it's like, you have obviously like no healthcare. If you get sick, you can't stream. It's insanely competitive, and you can wake up one day and just like maybe your game got deleted, like New World, or no one cares about WoW anymore. So you got to figure it out. And that's what's tough about being, especially a one game, Andy, is like, what happens if that game goes away? What happens if people just stop watching, and it's like, what happens if I say something one day and now everybody hates me? Like you have to be very, 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 very careful. It's a lot of similarities to a regular job, regular things. You don't get paid time off. You don't get benefits. It doesn't pay a lot until you get to a certain point, which most people never get to, by the way. 1% of people will ever make enough money to support themselves streaming. So you have to push past that whole thing as well. And I think that streaming, now that I've done it and made it to a point where I can possibly have a life doing it, I would say it's definitely an amazing job, and it's everything I want it to be, but it's also harder than I thought it was going to be. It's also a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Are you top 1%? I am. I'm top 500 streamers in the world. And that was according to the Twitch tracker last month. I'm probably not anymore because I did fall off a little bit. But yeah, which is pretty cool. And Guzu is much bigger than I am. So he's in a very, very good spot. He's also been doing it a lot longer. And so there's not a ton of like new streamers coming up that make it to a point where they can sustain a living, and eventually they have to quit, or they have to work their other job and stream at the same time. And, kudos to those people who are making it work and still following the dream of, being a streamer. But Guzu's kind of spitting right here, and I just want to give my thoughts and kind of elaborate on what he's saying there too.
I'm very thankful to be able to do it, and to do it at this level as well, with so many people watch is incredible.
Sweet. Similarly, I'm incredibly thankful I get to do what I do. Like I talked about RuneScape. I get to talk about RuneScape and type about RuneScape pretty much all day, and then I go home and I play RuneScape. I'm really lucky to be able to do that.
So playing a lot of RuneScape, thinking a lot about RuneScape, sometimes that can seep into your subconsciousness. Have you had any weird RuneScape related dreams?
Well, I don't know. Listen, I don't know if this is true, but apparently my lovely fiance has told me that I have been talking in my sleep about RuneScape.
Okay.
About dying and stuff like that on my hardcore. So apparently I have been talking about that. But
damn, apparently dreams do come true, if you know what I mean.
Have had a few deaths in my dreams on hardcore. I don't really remember how or what, but I do remember it happening.
So you have dreamed about dying.
Yes.
So I guess it's technically a nightmare at that point, right?
Yeah, it is a bit, man.
Joe can't give you the prime.
That freaking status, man. It doesn't matter, but it does.
Yeah. Well, it matters until it doesn't. No, that's the that's the thing.
Take it as it goes, right? It is what it is, but it's definitely still stressful.
It must be so relieving logging in and seeing the red symbols. Like, okay, still intact.
It's still there. It's still there, man.
You just wake up and like. I think the worst one for me is if I ever play shooter games too much, I can be like lying down in bed ready to go to sleep, and I can hear gunshots.
Oh
And-
God.
And then that is terrifying because I'm just like, I don't know if it's like I'm in a moment of sleep paralysis or not.
Yeah.
But then I remember like, no, that's not happening. I'm in my room. Like that's not possible, and it's fine. But that happens way too
Would the
often.
equivalent be like you hear Ice Barrage or like a
Yeah.
or a bolt spec, a bolt prop goes
Oh,
on.
you're getting
like,
snared.
Oh, no,
With the
yeah.
Kriara. Oh dear. Okay. I think I know the answer to this one, but I'm just gonna ask it anyway. What is your favorite moment in old school so far?
I mean,
Inferno Cape.
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even close. That is for sure the craziest thing I've had happen, like in any gaming. I think that
Inferno Cape is so
whole
sick.
build up of learning the caves and like trial and error and like spending 2 hours and then Jad comes out and
Yeah.
then you get one shot and then you gotta go again. Yeah, I got destroyed, man. I got absolutely clapped.
Yeah.
So I went into it with I didn't look up anything for Fire Cape. I knew going into it, I knew there was waves, around 60 waves. I knew there was different mobs, and I knew at the end it was Jad. That's what I knew. But so when I got to the Jad for the
Thank
first
you,
time, I
Pink
was
Shark.
like, okay, I knew there's like ranged mobs and there's like caster mobs. So I'm gonna assume he's one of those. So I
2 hours? Don't you mean 20 days? Guys, didn't you see my Inferno video on YouTube? It's 45 minutes. That's how long it took me to get it, okay? That's how long the video is.
sat ranged, I think, or magic. One of them. I sat either of them, and he did the other one, and I got
Yeah.
one shot. Yeah, but it was crazy. It was very emotional for me, which I didn't expect because there was so much build up of the support from the community and playing this game and really struggling with the fight caves as well. And all those weeks of preparation with all the stuff, prayer potions and levels.
Did you
and
have any
gear.
dreams about Wave
and then you get the-
61? I don't think I did, but that would be funny, man. I got my ass kicked on the 60s. I think I died maybe 20 something times to Wave 60 through 63, guys. It was bad.
Reward. And I think that's what RuneScape is all about.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's the flex too. You get to wear that cape.
you do
IRL as
that
well.
cape.
Yeah, no IRL, as
Yeah.
well, of course.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. My fiance made me
And
It's
a
Petite, thank you
homemade
so much for the
IRL
prime.
fire cape.
and she made it in secret, right? You didn't know. that it was
Yeah,
happening.
dude, she's been talking about for like a few days. She was like, "Oh yeah, I really want to get into sewing," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay,
Sewing.
that's good. I mean, nice.
Suing is something else.
Get sewing, you know? That's freaking awesome." And she was secretly like sewing while I was streaming.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so sweet.
And then she showed me the fire cape when I got it, and it was a very emotional moment for me because
I bet.
yeah, an incredible amount of support from the RuneScape community and so much.
She's
build
really
up with
getting
the whole
into
fight was
suing
so crazy.
people lately.
Well, an incredible achievement to have got it so.
It's
so
her
soon.
newest
I know that
hobby.
A lot of people who are playing will see the fire.
She
cape
sued
these
3
days as just,
things last week.
Another
3 people.
walk in the park. It's just a little simple thing to do.
Easy
but
to
for-
take it for granted, like, oh, it's going to be a really quick Slayer task, or I might
Yeah.
even not even bother. I don't even care about it anymore.
Yeah.
But it is, think back how monumental it was.
Yeah.
Overcoming Jad hands and getting that first one.
Yeah,
That's so
I mean,
nice.
I think it took me five full tries. So finally got it on my 5th try, and every single time I had complete Jad hands.
Yeah, it's so
But-
crazy, man.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's because
expected-
it's that build up, right? You spend 2 hours, you gathered all the gear and everything together, and,
Yeah,
then, and then
man.
it's like this is what it's all been for. If I mess up now, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. I don't want to mess up. And,
Sure.
and then you mess up, and then you're like, oh, like I know I can do it.
Surely Inferno is not that much harder, right?
Oh,
no
okay, Guzu.
yeah, you'll be fine. Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah,
It's
that'll
just
be
like
fine,
one-
bud.
one
You
more
got it.
Like a little bit harder, right?
Yeah, it's like one more
You
wave.
got it.
Unguided, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
It's gonna be good.
yeah. Try it without looking up any guides. Give it a shot. Yeah, give it a shot. It's real fun.
It's easy. In fact, I think there are less waves.
Oh, really? So it's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's gonna be painful. I don't know when I'm getting to that. My goal is I want to get Quest Cape without Quest Helper. Obviously, as blind as I can. I'm not fully, but
And you're not a space bar either, are you? For your
no, I
quests?
read everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I read the freaking book in the Dagannoth quest where you go in the lighthouse and you gotta fix the lighthouse and then the
Yeah.
guys goes in the basement.
What's up,
I
Tilska?
read all the books, man. I read the lore.
Have you tried examining items around the world randomly?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool, quirky.
Yeah,
text
there's some
pieces
cool
in
shit.
there,
I love it. Yeah, one of my favorite little Easter eggs, I guess, was in GOTR with this the SpongeBob house.
Oh, yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about that the other day, actually, weren't we? Someone
Yeah.
asked similar if there was if we could put something back. And it's like, oh, someone's already done it. It's
Already done it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone's already done that.
So Quest Cape, that's like the big goal for you now. Then is
Yeah.
getting that.
Quest Cape and Inferno Cape. That's like 2 things I would really like. That's very ambitious goals, but I think Quest Cape for me is something I want to work towards because I've been really enjoying working my way through the stories and the.
You have
and the-
so
Well, Guzu, if you are planning on getting the Infernal Cape, you know, I highly recommend, of course, you're going to want to get an Anguish. You're going to need 88 crafting. You're going to go ahead and mushroom pie boost, and you're going to have to farm about, you know, hopefully you get lucky, you get it in 300 demonic gorillas, you get yourself a Zenite. Then you're going to need an Onyx. You know, you're going to have to boost that, get yourself an Anguish. You're probably going to want to green log the CG, which, you know, good luck doing that in anywhere from like 1 to 3 months. Of course, you're also going to want either a Liper or Suffering. I mean, you probably could get away with the Ring from Desert Treasure 2 like what I did, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's not the greatest. Of course, you're also going to want, you know, make sure you could probably get away with the Barrow's Gloves. That's pretty good. You're probably going to want to do something better than Adamant Darts. So make sure you level your smithing, your mining, as well as your fletching, at least to like 95 in all 3 of those. That's going to give you the best possible chance. You're going to want to run the simulator, of course, as well. And, you know, just right off the top, you know, I think you could easily be in the Inferno in probably anywhere from 6 months to 6 years. And I think you'll be ready for that on your Iron Man. Oh, also make sure you have at least 100,000 blood runes in the bank, 100,000 death runes, and I want to say about 25,000 soul runes before you start going. I'd highly recommend at least, you know, 200 Sarah brews and about, you know, 200 prayer region pots, just to make sure, you know, just in case you do a few more attempts. And that way you have your bank all good to go. And then that way you can just get right in there and you can just throw as many attempts at it as possible. Guzu, you're going to be just fine, buddy.
so many good quests to come forward as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really, really fun journey. I think some of them will probably be on par with your journey to getting the Fire Cape as well.
Okay.
So it should be a
Yeah,
nice
I'm really looking forward
experience.
to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
I would love to have you back at some point in the future. Maybe once you've got your Inferno Cape, we can talk about how
I will
much-
see you in 5 years.
yeah, how different you feel about the game. Maybe you'll no longer be playing because you hate it because you burnt out and couldn't get it done. But
I don't know
hopefully
about
that's not
that.
The case. But before we do wrap up, is there anything that you want to ask us?
I don't think so. We've been talking so much that there's been so many good moments and just conversations. I feel like.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been good. I'm just thankful that you guys want to time me over because I'm so new to the community and new to streaming this game, and feel like I've been welcomed by you guys and the community so well. So I really appreciate that for sure.
I mean,
It's
you've
been,
had a big impact in the short time you've been here. Had a big impact, so it's been great, and I'm hopeful that your community, who previously maybe not old school, and then our community can come together and then share the joys of each other's games and stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be lovely. It really would be.
It's
But
amazing.
we super appreciate you coming over as well. Thank you for taking the time and such an early start. I'm sure it's going to be hitting you a little bit later on when you get back to the hotel room.
Yeah.
But it has been wonderful to speak to you and for you sharing your experience as well. Hopefully, those of you watching and listening back home have enjoyed it. If you have, let us know down below in the comments.
W's in
And
the chat
also,
if you enjoyed this
who else
interview
in
with
the creator space would you
Guzu.
like to be on the cast
I'll
next?
put my W in the chat
I'll be really
here.
interested to hear from you in terms of who you want to see the most next. Otherwise, I think that's going to be
Guys, can I want to go on this show? Can you guys say me? Everyone go say Sardaco. Interview the bald man. Please. I want to go on the show. It's already in the comments. Really? You guys have got to get settled in here for an interview? Risky move letting Obor into the studio. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It would really be great to have settled in solo mission. They have great experiences on OSRS. Am I really in the comments somewhere, guys? Or are you just kidding with me? No one said my name. Damn, how far down do I have to scroll? Nah, you lied. You lied. I got baited. No one said my name. Dang it. Guys, I just want to go to Yagak and get interviewed. What the heck?